Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am ItsKim. Welcome to ItsKim Live. If you've never seen this show before, hi, I'm ItsKim, and this is a show where I talk about pop culture topics that I care about. And we get into the news. We talk a lot about psychology and mental health, as well as other issues. I have a wonderful, wonderful community here, my lovely community of space angels who I see coming in here today. And you can see our lovely chat as well. We'll start coming into. It is so good to be here. I've got lots to go through with you today. Here's the way the show normally works. We start with the main topic, which is what you saw in the thumbnail. It's what you see in the title of this video, and we'll get into all of that stuff. Then we have a halftime where we just kind of hang out as a community and we talk about stuff we care about. And then we have a fun section towards the end called What the What, which is where we look at something from around the internet that is wild, crazy, interesting, all those types of things. So I am really excited for today. We've got kind of a bit of a good, funny Diddy update, but then we also have a pretty serious one, which is that we have a new lawsuit to go through, unfortunately. And I will be giving lots of notice for what is coming, and trigger warnings and all that type of stuff for you guys. So stay with me. We're going to get through this together. And then we have a really fun What the What. It's a bit different than I think what we've done before, but I think it'll be a good time. I do want to say right off the bat, thank you so much to Lisa Boo, who sent in a super sticker before the stream even began, as well as General Scott, who sent me a PayPal. Thank you so much, both of you, for your support. I'm also seeing a few things coming in right now. I see Kyle has gifted a membership, and Amanda Panda has gifted a membership, which, by the way, I think, Amanda Panda, you left me a comment earlier thanking or asking if I had gotten a PayPal from you. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I thought I had given you a shout out, but just in case you missed it, thank you very much. Yeah, so I think that's it.
King Bob.
Oh, King Bob gifted one?
Yep.
I missed that. I did miss that. Thank you, King Bob. King Bob gifted it off. So that means we're starting at 3 gifted memberships right off the bat. Sweet. Team Odd. There you go, everybody. Team Odd. And yeah, we can get started. I it's kind of one of those things. I was saying to producer sister yesterday. I wanted to start prepping for the show yesterday, going like, okay, what news can we cover? And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to do too much work because you never know what can drop. And then I may just have to scrap everything and start again. And then these things happened. So that's exactly what we are going to go through. So to start off, we do have to do our lovely disclaimers, which is that this stream will include speculation and opinion and should not be taken as fact. Always do your own research, and links to the sources where I get my opinion, how I come to these conclusions, they're in the description, and you are welcome to check those out. YouTube Human Reviewer, hello. Nothing explicit is going to be shown on this stream. I've gone to great lengths to make sure that everything is appropriate. I really care about this platform and I want to stay on it and I want to respect your community guidelines. And I do that with every show. And I am going to say right now, the last stream we did got limited. Yay! And it's still under review. So I don't know how all of that is going to go, but I can say I'm doing my best. I'm abiding by your rules, and I will continue to do so. And viewers, please do not send hate to anyone. It's not cute. Opinions are one thing, but don't do anything that's going to harm anyone in real life. So, yeah. Yeah, Katie just said seriously? Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, yeah. I think, honestly, when it comes to YouTube and what they deem to be appropriate, and I do want to just talk about this briefly before we start today. I'm going to have to use a lot of code words today. I'm going to have to use a lot of censorship and things like that to make sure that this is appropriate for the platform. I hate doing that because I feel like I'm making light of a very serious situation, and that's not my intention, but unfortunately, I feel like I kind of get pushed into this place that I have to do that. And even when you do try to do that, sometimes it's like, I think because maybe we are talking about Diddy, there's maybe this like blanket thing. That's my guess, that like as soon as you talk about a certain person, they go, no, we can't talk about this anymore. Jackie, I bet it was the baloney thing. We were limited before the baloney thing happened. In all fairness, we cannot blame the baloney.
Come on.
I love how that is already. I had somebody leave a comment on a stream that was like weeks old and being like, your channel is going to grow. I just saw the baloney thing. It had nothing to do with that stream, and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing. You guys are not going to let the baloney go. But continuing with our disclaimers, I do have to say, in good faith, Sean Combs has not been charged with any crime related to what we are talking about at this time, and the allegations against him have not been proven in court. He has maintained his innocence to some of the things that have been alleged with the apology video that has now come out, so I can't say that he hasn't admitted to any of it. This is a really hard disclaimer to give now, in all fairness, but I'm trying to be fair. Um, the following information is based on speculation and opinion upon that's based on reporting and legal documents that are available to the public. So I hope that that makes sense. I love you guys are all laughing about the baloney.
It was beautiful.
Put a 1 in the chat if you saw the baloney, and put a 2 in the chat if you don't know what we're talking about. Let me know. Let me know. Okay. So, getting into the main stories today. This broke yesterday. 50 Cent, our own Leroy Jenkins, who has been giving much commentary and opinion through all of this Diddy drama. There have been rumors that he was developing a docuseries, basically kind of similar to like Surviving R. Kelly, but like Surviving Diddy. I'm seeing a mix of tooths and wants from that question. Oh gosh, are we gonna have to do baloney again?
Oh dear.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll do a poll. We'll let the people decide. We are democracy. So Diddy had been talking about this docuseries, and I think some people were like, oh yeah, he's totally doing it, and then other people kind of wondered, was this trolling? Was this just him, you know, trying to rev people up, and just his relentless, really trolling of Diddy? It's just been on another level for the last number of months. But yes, this docuseries is real. And it has been sold to Netflix after a bidding war. Now, he did actually comment on this on his Instagram, so I am pretty confident that this is a true report coming from TMZ. But here's what's up. 50 Cent has been hyping up his Diddy documentary for months, and he wasn't trolling his archenemy, as the project has just landed a prestigious new home, TMZ has learned. Would you call Netflix prestigious?
Would you call any streaming service
Prestigious? I don't know if we're quite there yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not saying, I'm not trying to discredit Netflix, but I'm just saying prestigious, I think that's an interesting choice of words. For the people that brought you cuties. I'm just gonna leave that. The multiple sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ 50's multi-part documentary about the SA allegations against Diddy was purchased by Netflix. We're told there was a massive bidding war over the doc, which was produced through 50's G Unit Film and Television Studios, with multiple networks and all of the streaming platforms attempting to land the series. All of them? Did Disney want it?
Did Tubi want it?
Did Tubi want it? Stop. Not Tubi, please. Okay. Ultimately, the big red N emerged the victor. This writing, with sources telling TMZ the new Diddy docuseries will hit the streamer sooner than later. I don't know what that means. Are we is it done?
Maybe part 1 is done?
I have so many questions. I'm like, what is happening? I can't. As for how 50 Cent fits into this saga, the rival rapper has been trolling Diddy amid his legal woes, frequently taking to social media and weighing in on the allegations, as well as the federal raids on the Bad Boy Records founders' Los Angeles and Miami homes. The rappers have been at odds for nearly 2 decades, dating back to 2006, when 50 released a diss track called Da Boom Boom. You can see it. In which he alleged Diddy knows who killed the notorious B.I.G. So I just saw your chat, Arlie. Yeah, 50 has been going after Diddy for years. He hates him. Well, that's part of why. That's part of why. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see where this takes us. The thing is, I don't feel like 50 would put this much effort into something if he didn't have something to back it up. This is a lot of work and a lot of money to troll. That's all I'm saying. I think this has passed the trolling thing.
Also, the legality it opens you up to if it's
Mhm.
trolling.
Mhm.
Hoy.
Yeah. So I believe we're going to get into the lawsuit now. Um and this was it, that it was Diddy was sued by a former model who has multiple claims against him. Now, I have done my absolute best to censor these legal documents, to go through this respectfully. There will be a point where the incident in question is discussed, and I will be giving trigger warnings, and most of it is going to be blocked out on screen, and I will be reading that document separately. So if you are very triggered by this type of thing, what you can do at that time is we'll let you know. You can mute the stream. I will then read the details to everyone. I ask everyone in the chat, please do not repeat the details in the chat. And then when we're through the worst of it, another screen will come up and we'll let you know that we're through it, and you can unmute and come back to us. And then that way, hopefully, if any of this stuff is really difficult for somebody to hear, they don't have to completely leave, and we're going to get through this all together. And I ask again, we do have a support document if you need help with any of these issues. I am not a professional, but there are lots of professionals out there and resources available and people who want to help you. And I would ask you to please consider doing that and reaching out for the help that you deserve. I hope that that all makes sense. Please be respectful in the chat. Let's be loving in the chat. And we're going to get through this together. So this is the complaint. As you can see, this is the legal document. It was filed yesterday on May 21st of 2024. It is a 15-page document, although I will say the last page is pretty much just a signature from the lawyer, and that's the end of it. So it is basically the better part of 14 pages. I do not have all 14 pages prepped and ready to go because there's a lot of legality stuff in there that doesn't necessarily have to do with the events of the situation, in the sense that it goes into a lot of detail, and I will explain that stuff as we go. So, yes, this is filed at the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. So, it's another Southern District of New York case. The plaintiff is demanding a trial by jury. Um, Also, I'm seeing in the chat you guys are talking about that in the province I live in Ontario, there is an area where there is a tornado warning. Um, I don't believe we are affected by that at this time. But what I am going to say is I do have my phone on. I have it on vibrate. So if there is an alert that is coming near any of the areas that we are around, I will be notified and I will let you guys know. But for now, we're okay. Thank you for the concern. We're going to be all right. But yeah, I did see it's going to be pretty brutal. So if there's any internet interruption or things like that, that could be a part of it as well. Even if it's not necessarily in my area, it could still affect, the businesses that handle
The infrastructure.
the infrastructure. So it be what it be. But we're going to keep going. So the plaintiff in this case is Crystal McKinney, and Crystal is a former model. And we're going to talk a bit more about her history in a little bit. But she is suing Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka whatever else. I have a list in the description. I give up. Bad Boy Entertainment, LLC, Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Sean John Clothing, and Universal Music Entertainment Group Incorporated. So it's the person as well as all of the businesses. And there's a good amount of this legal document I did not include in this presentation, because what it does is it goes into what each of those companies are. And I think we're all pretty familiar with those things. Okay, so in case you didn't know, Bad Boy Entertainment is Diddy's entertainment company. Bad Boy Records is the record label. Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, again, business is affiliated with Bad Boy. Sean John Clothing, which is his clothing line, and Universal Music Entertainment Group, again in the music industry. So that's what that's all there for, and I don't think we need to go for like 20 minutes into that. So here we go. Plaintiff Crystal McKinney, and through her attorneys, Phillips and Associates, which is notable because this is not Tyrone Blackburn. This is not the attorney for the Lil Rod case, and I believe there's another case that he's representing an individual against Diddy. This has nothing to do with Tyrone Blackburn. Different law firm. Hereby alleges and avers of the defendant Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, all these other companies, alleges upon information and belief as to all other matters as follows. Nature of the action. The plaintiff brings suit against the defendants pursuant to the New York City Gender Motivated Violence Act. And this is the act that has allowed for so many of these cases to come forward, regardless of the time that the incidents originally happened. So, what she's claiming is that she has had substantial and lifetime injuries that she has suffered as a result of being forced substances and SA'd by Sean Combs. So, that's what we're dealing with. So, this is a little bit specifically about the Victims of Gender Motivation Violence Protection Act. I think this is important because this is why these cases can come forward. When we take a look, my understanding of this, and I'm not a legal expert, but I've been attempting to learn as much as I can so that I'm understanding what is going on here. Part of the reason we can't see any legal action come as a result of the video that has leaked on Friday of Cassie and Diddy is because the statute of limitations has passed. This law allows for people to file regardless of the statute of limitations. And they're going to explain that a little bit here. So this created a look back window on March 1st of 2023, which runs for 2 years for survivors of gender motivated violence, allowing them to sue their Ayers, regardless of when the A occurred. The NYC Gender Motivated Violence Act revives any claims against a party who commits, directs, enables, participates in, or conspires in the commission of a crime or violence motivated by gender as a cause of action against a party of any court of competent jurisdiction. Okay, so that's the point. That's why we're here. So these are the allegations. So the plaintiff begins her modeling career. At age of 17, plaintiff won MTV's inaugural model mission on December 5th of 1998, a televised modeling competition akin to Miss America, and was awarded a modeling contract with IMG, which is a very large modeling company. It's a very big deal for her to be able to get that, especially at 17 and winning this type of a competition. Now, to be fair, I actually never saw that. I never saw Model Mission. I don't know if that ever actually made it into Canada. Producer Sister, do you remember this show?
No, not at all.
I have no memory of this whatsoever. So I'm curious. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever saw it, if you're aware of it, because I personally am not. I did not see any of it at all. But she won a competition at 17. Good for her. Shortly thereafter, Plaintiff's career took off. Plaintiff modeled for a Tommy Hilfiger jeans campaign. Plaintiff was also featured in Macy's catalogs, Elle, Cosmopolitan, and Mademoiselle magazines. Plaintiff also made appearances in television and film programs such as MTV's Total Request Live, or TRL. I think most of us remember TRL. Fashionably Loud, True Life, and a movie with Joan Rivers. Furthermore, the plaintiff had international modeling gigs in Germany and Australia. So she was doing very well. Like, really, really well. And very good for her. Very good for her. But I think this is also important to mention that because we're talking about MTV, we know Diddy had some ties with MTV. He had Making the Band. There were other things going on. And also just being in the music industry, being successful in the music industry, right? MTV is, I think, a relevant party in this. I don't necessarily blame them for anything, but I see the tie. I see the tie. So a fashion designer invites plaintiff to Men's Fashion Week to meet Combs. Okay, so in 2003, when the plaintiff was 22 years old, a fashion designer, who will hereby be known as the designer. I want to know who this designer is. I want to know. And I want to know now. Invited plaintiff to attend Men's Fashion Week event held at, I assume that's a restaurant, downtown in New York City. At the time, plaintiff was engaged in modeling gigs in Miami, Florida, and flew to New York for the event. The designer told plaintiff that he would be introducing her to Combs, which could advance her modeling career. Okay. Now, this is where it gets weird for me. The designer began to direct plaintiff's appearance as he sought to ensure Combs found her attractive. I get wanting to look nice at an event where you're meeting people who are important, but there's parts of this to me that just are really creepy, and I think you guys are gonna catch on pretty quick here too. For instance, the designer instructed plaintiff to go to Elizabeth Arden to get a root touch-up to ensure it was platinum blonde. Okay. The designer also scheduled a stylist to put in hair extensions for the plaintiff. So your hair has to look a pretty specific way at this point. The designer then hand-picked a black leather coat with a fur hood, a translucent chiffon beige V-cut shirt, fur-lined handbag, and jewel-encrusted jeans for the plaintiff to wear to the event. Okay. Oh my gosh, Katie, the Elizabeth Arden joke. We don't need the Prince Harry jokes. Why did you have to remind me of that? No matter how hard I try, I can't escape it. I can't escape them. Ugh. Due to the traumatic events to occur later, plaintiff saved, okay, this is important, saved the unwashed clothing from that night in her closet, where they remain in a plastic wrap. So there is potential evidence here. There is big potential evidence here. So Combs then makes promises of career advancement. Soon thereafter, plaintiff took a car downtown where the designer was dining with Combs and other guests. The plaintiff felt little control over the events as she was directed what to do and put on display for others in attendance. For example, the plaintiff sat down at an empty seat next to the designer, but he insisted that she sit down directly across from Combs instead. So he could just, you know, they could just look at each other the whole time. This doesn't feel awkward or forced at all. Once seated, Combs made a very public display of coming onto plaintiff in an adult nature, is how I am censoring it, suggestive manner, which continued throughout the dinner. All right. For others to hear, Combs bestowed compliments on plaintiff by stating, for example, that she was beautiful and that her eyes were gorgeous. Later, and at a more intimate volume, Combs told the plaintiff was going to make it big one day as a model. I mean, she was already doing really good. Let's be fair, but okay. Combs went on to tell the plaintiff he had more power in the industry and was going to help advance her career. Combs provided plaintiff with his phone number as a gesture of good faith in his promises to help her. Throughout the interaction, Combs was flirtatious, bordering on leering, as he leaned across the table towards her. So, we kind of get an idea what's going on here. Combs also plied the plaintiff with drink throughout the dinner as he repeatedly refilled her glass with wine. After the meal ended, Combs told the plaintiff that he wanted to get to know her better. I hate that so much. I'm sorry. I have like a personal thing with that. Like I want to get to know you better. That always freaks me out. I don't know. Ugh. I know why. There was someone who said that to me once. It was very inappropriate and no. Combs asked plaintiff to call him a bit later. Okay. Plaintiff felt confused but hopeful that Combs would fulfill his promises to help her career. Okay. So from here, for the next little bit, we're going to get into where the things that are being alleged here get really dark and pretty brutal. So if you need to mute for now, this is your opportunity. I am going to very quickly pull up Z lawsuit in my other window. and go to the place where I don't have anything blacked out. And I hope that that makes sense. Okay. So here we go. Okay, Silky, just to clarify, she was not 17 at the time of this incident. She was, I believe, 22 or 21. They said that earlier. She was in her 20s. She was 17 when she won the competition. That's why that number is there. Okay, so here we go. So plaintiff meets Combs at his studio where he forces substances on her and essays her. Later that night, Combs requested the plaintiff to come see his studio in New York. Plaintiff felt reassured that she would be with others at the studio rather than alone in a personal residence. When plaintiff arrived, she found Combs and several other men seated together. She found that they were passing around a bottle of Hennessy and what we're going to call the green green. Okay? After plaintiff sat down, one of Combs' associates asked her, "Do you smoke green green?" To which she responded affirmatively. Combs' associate replied, "You've never had green green like this before." Okay? Plaintiff later came to understand that Combs had laced the green green with powerful medications or other intoxicating substances. Combs passed her the green green, and plaintiff took a hit which felt very powerful. Though plaintiff insisted she had enough after that, Combs pressured her to imbibe more alcohol and green green by telling her that she was acting too uptight. Plaintiff felt as if she was floating. Seeing the plaintiff was very intoxicated, Combs demanded the plaintiff follow him, and he physically led plaintiff to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Combs forced himself on the plaintiff and began kissing her without her consent. Combs then shoved her head down to his crotch before commanding her to suck it. Plaintiff resisted, but Combs pushed her head down onto that and forced her to perform an adult act of an intimate nature on him. As she was being aided, plaintiff felt panicked and physically sick. Afterwards, Combs led the plaintiff back into the studio. Upon standing and walking, plaintiff felt more and more woozy and then lost consciousness. Plaintiff awakened in shock to find herself in a taxi cab heading back to the designer's apartment. As her consciousness returned, plaintiff realized that she had been essayed by Combs. Plaintiff felt humiliated and traumatized without recourse. Following the plaintiff's the plaintiff's modeling opportunities quickly began to dwindle and then evaporated entirely. Upon information and belief, Combs had plaintiff blackballed in the industry and utilized his significant influence to impede plaintiff's career growth. Plaintiff became severely depressed as she began to blame herself for the A and for sabotaging her own career. The assault led plaintiff into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. In or about 2004, plaintiff attempted self-unaliving and was hospitalized. Everywhere plaintiff looked, she was reminded of Combs, as Combs was an inescapable presence in music, television, and film. In the ensuing years, plaintiff has also experienced alcohol and substance dependency, is how I'm going to say it, as she attempted to cope with the emotional trauma of being aided. Plaintiff has also experienced intimacy issues, as she struggles to maintain emotional and intimate relationships with men. Plaintiff was married from approximately 2006 to 2010. However, her marriage fell apart as she had a mental breakdown precipitated by the memories of the A. Okay, trigger warning is over. So if you have been muted, you can unmute. You can unmute now. Unmute now. Okay? Oh, how are we doing out here, guys? How are we doing? It's really, really sad. It's really sad. And I think what just makes me the saddest about all of it is it's just she had so much. She'd worked so hard. She had so much going for her. She was obviously very good at what she did. And then these people, and I say people because I know that this is I don't know this to be true, but this designer, I have questions. I have questions. I don't think that this I don't feel like this designer was unaware of the possible intentions and the situation that she was being put in. That's my opinion from reading this lawsuit. And shame on them if that is the case. Um, but it's so sad, and it's really really rough. And the thing is, I feel like in the past when I've read these lawsuits, I've had moments where I'm just like, this is monstrous. This is absolutely monstrous. It's almost like not believable. But I mean, the thing is, we've heard of other instances happening in his studio. We have heard multiple times of substances and alcohol being used in these situations. The people around him enabling him to continue doing this. No part of this, to me, when you consider the other lawsuits we've read, is unbelievable. Whereas if you looked at this on its own, it would be absolutely crazy to think that this happened. But it makes so much, like, it fits what we think the MO is, essentially, right? It fits the pattern. It's really really disturbing. Um yeah, Melissa A just said not only does he A her, but then blackballs them. Like, that's so effed up. Why further harm then? I don't use the word hate a lot, but I hate him. And it's like, it really is just this level of I don't recognize humanity in him with this type of behavior. And that's really concerning. Producer Sister,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any thoughts on this you want to share before we keep going?
Just further to what you said of like, what did the designer know? There were
Mm-hmm.
other people, by the sounds of it,
Yep.
at that recording studio.
Yep.
What do they know? What
Yep.
did they see?
Yep. I think too, it's also just like, was she literally being dressed and having her appearance changed
Mm-hmm.
specifically to please him? Like, it
That's
feels
weird.
so icky. It's so gross. It's so weird. And
It feels different than if it was like an audition and they want to see you in character
yeah.
for an audition. That I can
Yeah.
understand.
But
Or they want your hair a certain color or length or whatever it is, um, for a specific show to go with the aesthetic, the collection, whatever
mhm.
it may be. But this wasn't that.
No. No.
It's just dinner. Why?
Yeah. So there is a bit more in the lawsuit we're just going to go through now. Um, so Combs's A has altered the trajectory of the plaintiff's career, denying her a successful and lucrative career in the modeling and film industries. To this day, plaintiff experiences bouts of depression, anxiety, body image issues, feelings of worthlessness, and intimacy issues because of Combs A. And I think that that's something that a lot of survivors struggle with after these kinds of events. That's, to me, that almost is normal. That's been what I've seen, um, in, you know, I mean, in myself, but also in many survivors that I've spoken with, that we struggle with this stuff. Plaintiff is a woman of faith, and when she saw news coverage of the lawsuits of Miss Cassie Ventura, Miss Dickerson Neal, and others, she knew she had a moral obligation to speak up. Plaintiff prayed to God before bringing the lawsuit, as she feared further violence and/or retaliation from defendant Combs, but ultimately decided that she needed to speak her truth. Plaintiff seeks justice for herself and for any of Combs's victims. And I don't know, that for me kind of leaps off the page. Um, I don't feel I was seeing people saying things to the effect of like, oh, the video came out and the next thing you know, this lawsuit drops. I don't think this lawsuit came together in like 2 days. That's my opinion, like 2 business days. I don't believe that. I think this has probably been in the works for longer. That's my opinion. And I understand it. This is why I think Cassie in this story is so incredibly important, because she has single-handedly brought this man to his knees with her bravery and her being willing to come forward with all of this information. And I'm so happy that people, for the most part, believe this woman. And I think even now, more people do believe her after the tape. I'm sad that it took that for a lot of people to kind of come around to that. But, you know, if she feels safer now standing with other women and knowing she's not the only one, I understand that. I don't see that as her jumping up and trying to get a quick payday. I don't believe that in this situation. This is about these survivors standing together and supporting each other because they all know how terrifying it is, and they've all lost so much because of what this man has allegedly done, if that makes sense. So, the plaintiff has demanded a trial by jury.
Good luck finding a jury.
Oh my gosh. These are the jury trials that are never going to end. You know what I mean? It's just, we're going to start a whole new channel. Just watching these civil trials. It's insane. It's insane. But good. I'm glad they're happening. So, this is how the lawsuit ends. Prayer for relief. Wherefore plaintiff respectfully requests a judgment against the defendants, declaring that defendant Combs engaged in unlawful practices prohibited by the New York City Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act, in that Combs did horrible things to her, declaring the defendants Bad Boy Records, Sean John Clothing LLC, Universal Music Group engaged in unlawful practices prohibited by this same Protection Act, and that they enabled defendant Combs' commission of the crimes of violence motivated by gender. So a lot of this has to do with that they were enablers. That's why they're there, because it does seem like people knew that stuff was going on. So I understand why these companies are there. I think sometimes people throw on all these companies hoping for a settlement, has been what I've seen. That's my opinion. But I don't think that that's why these people or these companies are there. Awarding plaintiff compensatory damages for mental and emotional injury, distress, pain, and suffering, and injury to her reputation in an amount to be proven. There's no specified damages that she is requesting. This was not her walking in and going, I want $30 million type thing. This is not what this is. Awarding plaintiff damages for the defendant's breach of contract. Awarding plaintiff punitive damages. Awarding plaintiff's attorneys fees, costs, and expenses incurred in the prosecution of the action, and awarding plaintiffs such other and further relief as the court may deem equitable, just, and proper to remedy defendant's unlawful practices. And it was dated yesterday in New York, New York. And those are the documents. And that wraps up the main story. That's where we are. This is the new case. So we're now in halftime, and I'm open to see what you guys think of what we just read through. What are your thoughts? How are you guys feeling? I hope you guys are doing okay. And let me jump back over here and see. Did we get limited? We are not limited.
Wow.
Wow. I am impressed. Thank you, YouTube. And I think I am caught up. We are at the 3 gifted memberships. Yep. And I did read the super chat from Arlie. So I think we are up to date on that one. Yeah, Ken just said interesting choice of names for his business, Bad Boys. Oh, gosh. It was a choice. It was a choice. It was a choice. General Scott just asked, are we odd or even? We are team odd. We are team odd. There we go. So I'm just reading. Leslie said I put it on low so no one knows. I don't know
the volume.
The volume?
She's at work.
Oh.
Shh.
I'm sorry, Leslie. everything's going okay. I hope I didn't just get you in trouble. This is now ASMR Kim, apparently. I don't know. Yeah, Terry just said that was hard but needed to be read. I agree. I agree. It was tough, but I think it's important. I mean, it's like this is where we need to be elevating these voices, um, especially when we're seeing the similarities between the stories. I think that's really, really important. General Scott, thank you for gifting 10 memberships, which brings us to 13. So we're still Team Odd. Thank you very much, General Scott, for your continued support of this channel. Always. It means so much. And Jean Rick, thank you so much for the super sticker, the one up. Chomp chomp. Very, very appreciated. Thank you so much. Just let me see here. Yeah, membership raid, Natalia, 100%, 100%. We have a lovely community here. You guys are incredibly generous. And if you do not have a membership and you would like one, please make sure you allow gifts because chances are you'll get gifted one because you guys are amazing. And honestly, it's my favorite way of supporting the channel if that's something that you feel so led to do because not only does it help me, but it also includes other people. And I love that. It's like a double positive. So that's how I feel on that one. Let me see here. Oh, Cindy, you said Kim Brava. Thank on your handling of this topic. Thank you very much. I try my best. I try my best, and I'm loving the F Diddy. I'm loving the F Diddy. What Andy has started here with that hashtag. Okay, I have to ask you guys: are any of you following the baby reindeer drama? Just put a one in the chat if you are at all invested in the baby reindeer drama, because I cannot believe where this has gone, where we are, how crazy this is. It was not on my bingo card for this year, let me tell you. For those of you that don't know, Baby Reindeer is a show on Netflix that is supposed to be a true story. When you first start watching the show, it says, you know, this is a true story. There is a disclaimer later on in the credits that say that it's based on a true story and some things have been fictionalized, but the problem is now they've also said that key elements of the show, particularly the criminal history of one of the characters, is a true story. They went before Parliament and said that, and the questions now are, was this person that is apparently real and involved in this story, were they actually prosecuted for things that they did? And now the problem is we have someone who is I'm going to call her Martha because that's her name on the show, who is engaging in very strange behavior, in my opinion, and has been called up by multiple people for stalking, and seems to be a little bit. The whole situation is a bit scary. The whole situation is a bit scary. And my friend Andy has been talking about it, and he's been on Pierce Morgan now twice, which is very exciting. And congratulations to him. Um, but yeah, now apparently she's got a problem with him, and I'm like, I don't. This is there's so much going on. There's so much going on. Yeah. Linda Phillips just said totally invested. If she'd kept quiet, she wouldn't be in the limelight. But that is exactly where she wants to be. Yeah, yeah, and that's the problem. And the thing is, like, I keep seeing this dialogue about that a lot of people believe that Martha is not mentally well. I would agree with that assessment. I think that is entirely a possibility. Um, However, I can't diagnose, and I'm not going to. You know what I mean? But I really feel like, and I will say it, I think if Martha was a man, people would not be as compassionate towards her. If the things that happened in the show did happen in real life, and that is a big if, I'm not accusing the individual of this at all, but I believe that this individual, if the events of the show are true, is a very dangerous individual and has hurt people. And at that point, I feel like there needs to be accountability. That person needs help. But if that person is actively seeking attention, and I mean posting allegedly 65 Facebook posts in the same day, knowing that people are all watching and taking everything in, like it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. And in all fairness, I understand from the perspective that if this Netflix show has defamed her. She has every right to defend herself. Every right to defend herself. She had every right to go on Piers Morgan and do a sit-down tell-all interview and defend herself and try to, have a voice in this of this thing that she's been thrust into essentially against her will. But the problem is, I feel like through doing so, she's just kind of confirming over and over again that the behaviors we saw in the show seem to be reflected in present day. That's all I'm saying. We've got multiple politicians who have come forward saying they've been stalked by her, and it's just getting crazier. It's just getting crazier, and
Very messy.
very very messy, very messy, and I just hope that Netflix has, the receipts to back it up. I really do. I really, really do. Because this isn't the first time I've heard issues about Netflix and their legal department. And I don't know if maybe they just didn't think this was going to be such a big deal. I mean, I have so many opinions on this, in all fairness, and so much speculation. But it's just very, very strange, and it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier by the day. So I will say, if you haven't seen Baby Reindeer, it's really good. I watched the show with the exception of episode 4, because I'm sure those of you who have seen the show know what was in episode 4. So I read an in-depth summary and made sure that I was up to date on all of those plot points, but I did not feel that that was the best thing for myself to watch. And I would say if you are a survivor, potentially that might be a choice you want to make as well. But yeah, really good show. Honestly, I enjoyed it. And I thought there were a lot of really beautiful moments in it, and moments that are great for just there's a really beautiful moment where the main character comes out to his father and his mom, and they have a beautiful conversation, and I was bawling my eyes out through the whole thing. So well done, such great acting separate from all of it, just absolutely amazing. I do have to catch up. I just saw we have Eliza. Marion has been a member for 9 months and just found out the baby's gender. They're having a third boy. I saw like third boy. I read it quickly, then I saw that you put the third. Congratulations on your third.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy for you. That is amazing. That is awesome. I hope you guys are thrilled, and I hope that everything goes beautifully. Oh my goodness. General Scott, thank you so much for the gifted membership.
Elisa also gifted a membership.
Oh, Elisa did as well?
Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So that brings us back to Team Odd then.
It does.
Okay, so Lisa, thank you very much for the membership. Congratulations on the 9 months. Thank you for supporting me for that long. That is incredible. And congratulations on your pregnancy and your third boy. That is amazing. I'm so happy for you. And General Scott, thank you for the gifted membership. And we are at 15 gifted memberships. That is awesome. Thank you guys so, so much. Kyle just said, I get 600 plus messages from my ex daily.
What?
What? Kyle. That's scary. Oh my goodness. I hope you're okay. That's disturbing. Wow. That sucks. That's not normal. People shouldn't do that. Don't do that. I feel that's the disclaimer of the day. Don't stalk people.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. King Bob, thank you for the gifted membership. So that brings us to 16.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I just burped. I'm so sorry. Sweet 16. I will say I am trying a new coffee today. There are a few things in this world I love that when I find a new coffee drink that makes me happy. I'm just basic like that. I can't help it. And I don't think it's too much. Yeah, but is it fashion, Katie? Is it fashion? Should I play the clip? I'm going to play the clip.
It's fashion meets... It's fashion.
There we go. It's fashion. It's so good. I don't think it's too much caffeine, but I think I needed more caffeine today to get through this. So, because it was just a lot. I love you guys all going, Kyle, are you okay? Run, Kyle, run away. Monty Python, run away, run away. Oh my goodness.
We need that clip.
Oh, we need the runaway clip?
Runaway clip.
Oh my gosh. All the Monty Python jokes. My name is a Monty Python joke. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? It is what it is. Oh gosh. Oh, and is that Jackie Swan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I can't see her whole name in the program. It gets cut off. Thank you very much, Jackie, for the gifted membership as well. So that means 17?
Yes.
You guys are on fire. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Katie's like, Lacey was too late. I don't know. I mean, she is asleep. She is sleeping. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, she woke up. Hi
Hey.
there. Do you want to come say hello to everybody? Do you want to come over? Yes. Okay. 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 Here she is. Here's Lacey. Good girl, Lacey. And say hi to everybody. Yeah, you're looking at the chat again. And my coffee, apparently. That smell nice? You can't have any.
No.
You will never have any. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Oh, yeah. No, she's been good. Oh, okay. I saw an Instagram reel yesterday, and it was like millennials working from home every meeting, and it's just this guy being like, "This is my golden doodle." Was that a burp? I can't tell. It's like, "This is my golden doodle. He's 3 years old. This is my baby." That like we all do this apparently, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really argue with that because I'm a millennial on stream at working every day, and I bring my dog up. So called out. Called out. Good girl. Good girl. Oh. Oh, Terry just said, where is the proof this is about her? Yes, I've been doing my research and I have found nothing. Okay, so this is my speculation. This is my opinion. This is what I have gathered based on what I have seen. I am not an expert in this by any means. There's probably things that I don't know or I'm forgetting about in this moment. But at the beginning of the show, because I'm assuming we're talking about Martha right now, in the first 1 or 2 episodes, I believe, there is an interaction between her and the main character that is based on Richard Gadd, the creator and the star of the show, the writer of it, where they make a joke about hanging her curtains, which ends up being this kind of weird, like, innuendo joke thing. It's uncomfortable. It's really weird. And then someone found a tweet where this woman tweeted at Richard Gadd, like his official Twitter, being like, he's gonna hang my curtains or something to that effect. And then everybody went, oh, well that's oddly specific. And I think a lot of people then, the sleuthing, they found her very quickly. And then they were able to get her name, and then they were able to look up that there was a previous situation that she had allegedly harassed a politician a number of years ago and their family, and then it all just kind of exploded and got bigger. So that's just because she wasn't, we don't know if she was prosecuted for that, but there was media attention to it. It got messy, but more and more stuff is coming out. It's really, really strange. And that's the thing. Rando just said it could be sealed or deferred judgments, which absolutely is true. It isn't as easy to look up that type of information in the UK as it is in the United States, is my understanding. So that's why there's kind of some fuzziness about it. And I guess we will see. We will see. So it's bizarre. It is bizarre. Well, you guys, we do have a What the What. Are we ready for What the What? I'm ready for What the What. I've been told I will have feelings.
Yes.
I've been told that I'm going to have feelings. It's going to be a thing. So, Apple Music.
Yes.
Reportedly put out a list of the best 100 albums of all time. We are talking about this because producer sister woke up and saw that this was trending because people are mad.
So what has happened is over the last 10 days, they have released 10 albums at a time, starting at 100, working its way to the number one album of all time. So this morning, the final 10 albums were released of the best albums of all time. And what I woke up to this morning was a lot of albums trending because people were upset that they were not included. So I'm going to put a little disclaimer. I did not have as much time as I normally like to edit and make sure everything is the way I want it, because I literally finished this like minutes before we started live.
Truth. Can confirm.
Yeah, I did not edit to the point that I would like to, but I ran out of time. So yeah, like Natalia, I hope I said that right. Just said Meteora by Linkin Park. There is no Linkin Park. It is not there.
Not on the list at all.
Not on the list. People
Uncultured swine
have feelings.
I think okay. So here's the thing I want to preface with this. Some of you that have been watching the show for a while may have known that I grew up in a household, and so did producer sister, that was very heavy on Christian entertainment. We didn't have a huge amount of exposure to secular entertainment for the majority of our childhoods. I think, is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was, we were in Disney World and we were in Christian entertainment world. And growing up in Canada, we didn't have MTV. We had Much Music, but even at that, we got Much Music pretty late. And even to this day, as much as I am obsessed with pop culture and I do my best to learn as much as humanly possible, there's definitely things that I have like lapses in knowledge when it comes to certain things. And I'm doing my best to catch up as much as possible. But the one thing I will say is I think a lot of music stuff is very subjective. I think these lists are fully subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all going to have different opinions on what should be on this list and what shouldn't be on this list. And I would be interested to know, as we're going through it, whether or not you agree or you disagree,
Mm-hmm.
but also what you think should be here. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's going to be albums that I think should be on this list that aren't, and I'm going to have feelings about it.
Yep.
We're all going to have reasons. And there's even some albums I'm pretty sure I think should be on this chart. I don't even like them, but I think they deserve to be on this chart.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be realistic. Yes, Kyle, Much Music, shout out to Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's Corner.
So for those of you who don't know, there was literally a booth set up on the street outside of Much Music headquarters where you could go in and basically just talk to the camera about whatever you wanted.
You just sat down and talked.
And they would take these people coming into the booth and talking and recording it and make it into a TV show called Speaker's Corner.
It was chaos.
Yeah,
it was chaos.
Absolute chaos. But the other thing I see with these kind of lists is looking at it, and this one included, of seeing some albums listed there, and I'm like, I don't even know. I haven't heard of you before.
I'm so sorry, producer.
I know.
Carbonized. Stop.
Oh, the Gaithers.
It warms my heart to know I didn't suffer the Gaithers alone. No, but I mean, it's stuff like when people were going on about, like, I don't know, people were super into, like, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Like, we were like, Jump 5.
Oh, Jump! I haven't thought about them in a long time.
I know! Newsboys, Melissa just said, you know, right?
DC Talk, people.
DC Talk. We were listening to Avalon. We were listening to...
Yeah.
You know, Toby Mac and Zoe Girl and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I mean. Like, there's so many of those albums I'm going to sit there and go, like, some of them are really good and I love them. I know they're not going to be on this list. I don't know if they necessarily deserve to be on this list. Maybe DC. Maybe DC. I would ride or die for them. But, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Melissa Smith said Smitty.
Smitty.
Yeah.
Smitty.
Lots
yeah.
Of Smitty.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
there's been a few, especially, and we'll talk about it more as we get into, like, the top 10, but a couple albums that didn't resonate with me. So I'm interested if they did with other people.
Yeah.
And why.
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Yeah. Okay, so
the,
here we go.
the first slide is just a bit of a disclaimer. Shout out to the Wikipedia page for this because it saved my butt. And you'll notice this time my source page is actually at the end of the document, not the beginning.
Spoilers. That's fine.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So we will have it in the main document later. But I did put it at the end this time because I didn't want to spoil it.
Sounds good. Sorry, I'm just laughing because Sir I just said Jeremy Camp, Jackie Velasquez.
Mhm.
Christian Kids Mom. Jackie Velasquez
She was good.
She had bops.
Yeah.
Legit. Okay. So, Apple Music's 100 Best Albums is an opinion survey and curated music ranking of the finest albums in history, created by the streaming service Apple Music. Its team crafted the list alongside a group of artists that included Pharrell Williams, J Balvin,
Yeah.
Maren Morris, Charlie XCX. This list is an editorial statement and does not take into account any streaming figures on Apple Music or any other streaming service. So we're not going to look at numbers.
No.
That's a choice. Sorry. The final part of this list was released on May 22nd of 2024. So it was released
This morning.
today.
And
Sorry,
yes.
I did not forget VeggieTales.
So
I
much
never
VeggieTales.
forget VeggieTales.
So much.
It's in my soul.
And it is completely a coincidence that Kim is wearing her Purple Rain shirt today.
Completely, but I love it. Because it's a flawless album. Okay.
So the first slide we're going to look at here is the rage of the internet of people who are not
on this list.
On the list.
So not the top 10. We're talking the top 100.
They are not in the top 100.
Mariah is not on it?
No. Now, there are some people on even this list that I can understand not, but... And this is where I said you were going to have feelings.
Okay, here's the thing. When we talk about iconic albums, right, what we have to think about is not the artist as a whole. We have to think about specific albums that were released.
Yep.
I believe, like, personally for me, Britney's albums are iconic.
Mm-hmm.
However, I understand in the grand scheme of things, Britney's full career has probably been more influential than just one specific album.
I would argue for Blackout, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, Blackout did not get to #1 on the Billboard the Billboard 200, which was a travesty, but it didn't. And it didn't have the full promo that it deserved. And it didn't have all the videos and singles that it deserved. So much so that Radar came back for a victory lap with the Radar horse and that whole video thing that happened after the Circus album came out. So I'm just saying that, like, I understand it in some perspectives. But what I will say is, I know I need to look through this whole list, but the fact that the Emancipation of Mimi is not in the top 100 albums of all time is a crime.
Yeah.
That is a crime. Because not only was the album, I'm sorry, I could go off on this for, like, there's going to be Kim rants here. There is going to be Kim rants here. That album, #1, the sales of it are incredible. The placements of it are incredible. We Belong Together alone, like, didn't that, like, swoop the Grammys for the most part?
I think so.
Like, she, that album, man, and considering what she had come from to that album coming out, iconic. Absolutely iconic. I'm gonna have feelings. Also, I will say, out of this list, just looking at it quickly, I'm upset No Doubt is here.
Yeah.
I feel like Tragic Kingdom should be in the top 100 because of how influential that album was. But separate from that, Katy Perry.
Yeah. That was a big one.
Teenage Dream.
Yep.
She tied, I believe, Michael Jackson for the, like, having the same amount of #1 singles off of that record.
Yep.
The sales of that record are insane. The tour was insane. The merchandising that went with it was everywhere. She had a Sims expansion pack. There was a Katy Perry Sims expansion pack. You cannot like the album, but I'm just saying, the impact that it had on culture, the impact it had on radio, the impact it had in the industry. Crime. 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 Okay.
The other one I was gonna say was Kelly Clarkson
Hmm.
for Breakaway.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I'm trying to remember which one of Bruno's swept at the Grammys.
Oh, is it Unorthodox Jukebox?
I think it was Unorthodox Jukebox.
We can't. We're like blah, blah, blah. Unorthodox Jukebox. Say that 10 times fast. All right.
But so that was another one for me. And then The Weekend, After Hours.
Yeah, I could see that. But at the same time, I mean, I think some of it is hard when you're looking at all time because these albums haven't had the time to age the same
Yes.
way as other ones have, which I think puts them at a disadvantage. But I'm just saying I think there are some albums that when you look at the sales, when you look at the placements on the charts, when you look at the cultural impacts of them, I think they're undeniable. I feel like Teenage Dream and The Emancipation of Mimi hands down should be there. And I see a lot of I see, I think it was Carbonized being like, Celine is the purest voice of our generation. The generation before me, fight me, I'll win. I'm not fighting you because I agree with you. Celine Dion is iconic. She's amazing.
What was the name of
But
that album?
what album specifically?
The one. Shoot, I can see the cover in my head.
Like,
The one that had It's All Coming Back to Me.
yeah, I don't know.
I will get
Is
it.
that Let's Talk About Love?
It might be.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the moments of, like, Celine's obviously, I think, most iconic song of all time is My Heart Will Go On, but that was not her album, right? That was on the soundtrack for Titanic, so therefore it wouldn't really be considered in this list, I don't think. So I understand, like, some of the issues here, but when you look at some albums, like, to me, it's just a duh thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got Unlimited on the first stream this week.
Nice.
Sorry, I just got that notification. Thank you very much, YouTube. I appreciate that. Please be kind to me. All right. Okay, so let's go through here. Let's see. So, this is 100 to 91. We've got Body Talk by Robin. Okay. Hotel California by the Eagles. Okay, fair. I'm not going to fight that. Astroworld by Travis Scott. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Rage Against the Machine by Rage Against the Machine. Good. Pure Heroine by Lorde. That was quite an album. I will say that caused waves. Confessions by Usher. Yeah. Untrue by Burial. I don't know them.
I don't know them either.
I'm sorry to this man. I don't know them. A Seat at the Table by Solange. I know Solange is an incredible songwriter and obviously a very good singer. And I know there's a lot of artists that really, really love her. And a lot of people who really, really love her. But I don't know. I don't feel like a Seat at the Table by Solange was more influential than The Emancipation of Mimi.
Yeah, and
this is where I get...
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't have anything against these albums, but if you're talking about influential albums, I feel like you should have staying power. I should... Other people cite it as an influence, all these kind of things. And what has this album changed within the music landscape?
Yeah. And, like, honestly, one of my favorite artists that I feel like doesn't get a lot of attention is Esthero. She's Canadian, and she, for a while, like, I think she had, like, in her social, she said, like, your artist's favorite artist. Mm-hmm. Because she did so much stuff behind the scenes. She worked with Kanye West. She worked with Black Eyed Peas. Andre 3000. She did so much, and I will say her album, like, her work is just incredible. I adore her. I adore her. Yeah, she deserves far more credit than what she gets. Denise just said, "Hey YouTube, don't do this to our girl." Shame. Thank you very much, Denise, for the super chat. I so appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. Okay, and Listen Without Prejudice by George Michael. We'll keep George Michael. I'll keep George Michael.
It's Freedom.
Yeah.
That album.
Freedom's good. Back in Black by AC/DC. Deserves to be there, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm good with that one.
The Fame Monster Deluxe Edition. Okay, so that would then include all of the Fame.
Yeah.
As well. So that is Just Dance, Poker Face, Nothing Else I Can Say, Paparazzi, Bad Romance, Monster, Alejandro. Yeah. Yeah. And also would have had, the Monster Ball, like all that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. I Put a Spell on You by Nina Simone. Fair. Blue Lines by Massive Attack.
I will say the one, Nina Simone.
Yeah.
I did look at that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That album has spawned so much.
Okay.
It is from the 60s. It is also the original recording of Feeling Good.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, absolutely.
Like that
I mean, Nina's
album,
a legend, but like
the songs
that.
on that album that have lived on
Yeah.
and been re-recorded by various artists, and that's where I see influence.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. My Life by Mary J. Blige. I will say, as I had to go down a deep dive about Mary J. Blige a couple of months ago, as the Diddy stuff was starting, that album is absolutely iconic. I'm glad it is here. Mm-hmm. Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves did fantastic at the Grammys, I think. She was the unexpected kind of dark horse of that whole thing, and she's incredible as well. Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg, yes. Horses by Patti Smith, Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent, which is
Leroy Jenkins,
and that's in the club. That's in the club.
That's in the club.
And After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. Do you guys have any favorites from this list at all? I'm seeing a lot of people happy about AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
I know my father is also one of them.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's a good album.
It is. Okay, so this is 80 to 71. We've got the Marshall Mathers LP. Yes. Norman effing Rockwell. Lana Del Rey. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. Like a Prayer by Madonna. I like all four of those. On Bad Bunny. I don't know that album. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not super familiar with Bad Bunny. I'm not going to lie. But I know people love him.
Yeah.
Super Duper Fly by Missy Elliott. You queen. Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. I mean, Nine Inch Nails has done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember which one that is by them. Like, my brain.
March of the Pigs and Closer came out in 94.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's what I was thinking. That's the one that Hurt was on.
Okay.
So later on, Johnny Cash covered Hurt before he passed away. Mm-hmm. And that whole album is like a concept album.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's so good. Aya by Steely Dan, SOS by SZA, Trans Europe Express by Kraftwerk. I don't know that.
No idea.
I'm sorry. Does anyone know that?
They're a German electronic band.
Okay.
In the 70s.
I don't know
and
that.
They were formed.
That is a lapse in my knowledge right there, 100%. Oh, I know. Carbonized just said, yeah, Johnny's cover was better in my opinion. The Emotional Alone. Oof. Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like it's very emotional in the actual record itself. And then when Johnny took it, it just hit this whole other level. And I think it was such a beautiful example of when people hear songs and it may not be your song, but you feel like that song was like written for you and you connect with it on an emotional level that's really, really deep and really, really strong. And I feel like Johnny just did that perfectly. Like, I don't even feel like Hurt is, in the most respectful way possible, I don't think that Hurt is Nine Inch Nails' song anymore. It's not Trent's song anymore. It's Johnny's. That is Johnny's song. That was his, like, last song that he left us with. And, oh my gosh, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Oh, sorry. That song makes me cry. Okay, let's keep going. Straight out of Compton. Master of Puppets. That's good. Is the Sieve by the Strokes. Dummy by Portishead. I don't know if I know that one.
No, I'm not sure.
The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Yep. 3 Feet High. Rising by De La Soul. I don't know 64. I do not know 64. That's a failure on my part. Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, All Eyes on Me by Tupac, and Love Deluxe by Sade. Okay, I'm not mad about a lot of this. I think the ones that I don't know, so I can't really judge.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Let me see here. Natalia said, was Depeche Mode was there already? Must be. I don't think we've seen Depeche Mode yet.
I don't think we have.
Yeah. But I love some of you guys are like, Metallica! I love how many metalheads we have in this audience. You all make me so happy. You all make me so happy. Oh, that's the other thing too. I'm going to go see Evanescence and Hailstorm. I'm so excited. I get to go see Evanescence again. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. I wanted to share that. Anyway, okay, we'll keep going. The Velvet Underground and Nico, the 45th anniversary edition. Okay, fair. AM by the Arctic Monkeys. What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. Yeah. Voodoo by D'Angelo. Disintegration remastered by The Cure. God, The Cure's here. Anti by Rihanna. That album is a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. It's good. It surprised me, and I honestly think I think it's gonna take a lot to top that, and I know Rihanna wants to, so I extend my my support to her on that, and I hope she does well, because that album is special. That album is special. A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. Exile on Main Street, 2010 remaster, The Rolling Stones. Okay. Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Sign of the Times by Prince. Glad Prince is there. Glad Prince is there. I'm hoping another Prince album is there. 50 to 41, Hounds of Love, 2018 remaster by Kate Bush. Yay. Joshua Tree by U2. I can already hear Andy screaming. Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. Take Care by Drake. I don't know if I'd have it that high. Okay. A minor. Exodus by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Very good. Homogenic by Bjork. Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. Remain in the Light. Talking Heads. Control by Janet Jackson. Yes. Oh no, Professor! No! The Professor fell! No! Stay up. Are you okay, Lacey? Professor did not hit Lacey. She's okay. I'm sorry, Lacey. Go back to sleep. She's like protecting her ball while she's sleeping. She's just to be like, me and my ball, how dare you? And Akamini by Outkast. Outkast is good.
It is not the album with Hey Ya, though.
No! And you would think.
Yeah.
You would think. Love Below. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You by Aretha Franklin. Okay. Aretha should be here.
Mm-hmm.
Illmatic by Nas. Okay. Tapestry by Carole King. Enter the Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers Expanded Edition. Wu-Tang Clan. Beyonce by Beyonce. Okay.
I feel like you have thoughts.
I do. Because this is where I kind of sit here and I go, I loved that album. I love that album. Honestly, that is my favorite Beyonce album, hands down.
What?
Yes. There are no skips on that album. Not a one. Not a one. It is flawless, beginning to end, perfect. And the way that it dropped with no promo, it was a full video album. It was the first time she really did that. It just was, we woke up and Beyonce ran the world. And it was absolutely wild, and it was so well done, and the amount of work it took to keep everything quiet, it was just incredible. But Teenage Dream and The Emancipation of Mimi were both more influential on pop culture, and it bothers me that she's there and those two aren't.
Yep.
That's where I get like, mm, I got feelings. I got feelings about that. I got feelings about that. I kind of feel like Adele right now, being like freaking out about her winning and Lemonade should have won and all that. Like, kind of feeling that way. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back by Public Enemy. Okay.
Miss London Calling.
Oh,
by the
London
Clash.
Calling by the Clash. Clash is here. That's good. Kid A by Radiohead. Radiohead, yes. Ready to Die, the remaster by Notorious B.I.G. Yep. And Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. Glad to see Alanis here. That album is
You
iconic.
ought to know.
It's iconic.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Literally.
30 to 21. When do we fall asleep? Where do we go? By Billie Eilish. Again, I feel like this is the thing. I'm gonna compare the pop girlies now. This is gonna be the thing in my head. The pop girlies, and yes, Billie Eilish is incredible, and it's no shade to her whatsoever. But
I wonder when they're making lists like this, should they have like a 10-year rule that until an album has turned 10, it cannot be included?
I mean, has it turned? I don't think it's turned 10 yet. Bad Guy's not 10 years old.
No, but I'm just saying in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Just to see what is the lasting impact.
Yeah. It's a fair question. It is a fair question.
Yeah.
The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. Okay. Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. Yes.
Yes.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. I'm sorry, that's not.
You miss Led Zeppelin.
I missed the Led Zeppelin 2 by Led Zeppelin. Yes. Of all the albums you could pick for Kanye,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the one I would pick.
It's not what I would pick.
Like, yeah, that's a choice. That's a choice, but okay. Kind of Blue, Miles Davis. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, David Bowie. Yes! Keep David Bowie for sure. Discovery by Daft Punk. Yep. Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. Revolver by the Beatles. Okay. Now we're in the top 20. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Okay. The Chronic by Dr. Dre. Yep. 1989, Taylor's Version by Taylor Swift. Happy to see the Taylor's version there. Not gonna lie. Producer Sister.
Yeah.
Is there any other Taylor on this list?
No.
That's surprising to me.
Which one did you think?
I'm surprised it's not Fearless or Speak Now.
Really?
Yes. Because when we talk about how many walls those two albums broke down, like that was really like those two were her crossing over into pop, becoming more mainstream, being able to belong in both the country and the pop world, and also established her as a songwriter. Right? Like I can't remember which one was the one. She's the only songwriter on it.
Speak Now.
Speak Now is just her.
I was going to have a similar argument, but for Red.
Yeah. I always feel like Red is underrated. Like people don't appreciate Red the way that they should. I think the same way people don't respect Reputation the way that they should, because I'm a Reputation girly. I'm so tired of waiting. My heart can't take much more of this, Taylor. I did something bad Reputation Stadium version, studio version, please. It is the one thing I ask of you and will only ask of you for the rest of my life. It is my Roman Empire, and it is breaking my heart every day that goes by, and I cannot handle seeing any more social media posts of people going, this is my theory of why Reputation Taylor's version is going to get announced this night at the at her tour, and then the Empire State Building literally going in Reputation colors and wanting it to happen, and then it doesn't happen. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I want my Reputation. At that point, I feel like we should rename Reputation Taylor's version to Fetch. Because it's never going to happen.
It's going to happen.
No, it's never going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. I've had my heart broken too many times. I'm sorry.
You just have to wait a little longer.
I'm
You
sorry.
got Female Rage the musical. instead.
I know, and I'm happy for that. I will say, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is flawless. I adore that so much. There's so much on the new album I love, but anyway. Okay, What's Going On, Marvin Gaye, yes. Blue by Joni Mitchell, yes. 21 by Adele. I'm going to read the support. Michael Nothing has been a member for 9 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Do you know the story of Brian Wilson, Beach Boys? I feel like I've heard it, but I don't remember it. I had a friend who loved that song, and he like performed it any time there was like open mic nights or anything like that, and he always talked about it. But I can't remember what he said, and I feel really dumb for that. But I don't remember. Carbonized Stardust said, "I hate this list. I say we add it to the burn book." Apple Music is a fugly. Do not trust them. Okay. Adele 21. I'm gonna go back in time. I was, I think, either finishing college or just out of college. This album comes out. And Rolling in the Deep is everywhere. Rumor Has It is everywhere. Set Fire to the Rain is everywhere. That song that never actually even got a music video, yet it controlled the radio 4 months. And then, of course, Someone Like You. That album, Producer Sister, can you look up for me what the sales on that album are?
Yeah.
Sorry, so Michael Nothing just said his early years were tough. It's amazing what he made of himself. Truly an inspiring person, Brian Wilson. Sounds good. Might be something to look into.
In the United States, it is 14 times platinum.
Yep.
Worldwide, over 31 million copies.
Yep. And the thing is, that was so incredible because at that time, there was a huge amount of discussion in the music industry about what sales were going to be in the future of music because piracy was at an all-time high. And then you had streaming services kind of starting and you had a lot of digital music being purchased. And it was like people were kind of thinking that the time of albums selling millions and millions and millions and millions was over. It wasn't going to happen. And then you had Adele come out from like, she was everything that, according to a lot of people, should not be famous. But she had so much freaking talent and so just incredible as a writer and as a singer and as a performer and as a person. And she just completely proved everybody wrong. And I remember, like, it was also around the time where a lot of people were starting to use the word basic and being like, oh, only basic people like Adele. And I'm like, no. How do you... Are you deaf? Like, how do you not... How can you listen to any of that album like and not appreciate it? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think that album is incredibly influential of not only of the time, but as music continued. And I give so much of that credit to Adele. I think that album is huge. I think it's her best. I think it's... I could talk about it all day. I could talk about it all day, and I'm not going to. We're going to keep going. Highway 61, Revisited by Bob Dylan. The Blueprint by Jay-Z. Okay. Okay Computer by Radiohead. Yes. So Radiohead's been here twice. Weren't they? Yeah. Kid A by Radiohead.
Yes,
and then
Radio's
OK
been
Computer.
here twice.
Yep. And then Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, which I am surprised is not higher. Because it was very influential. Very, very influential.
So before we go on to the top 10, so there is a slide for each of the top 10 with a little bit more information about each album. What do you guys think is the number one album? And not necessarily what you believe is your number one album, but what do you think overall is the highest rated album?
If we're talking about influence, I feel like that's not a difficult question to answer. Because it's Thriller.
Okay.
And I feel like that is the number one. We're talking about sales. We're talking about the way that music videos were filmed after that. We're talking about just the insanity and the level of fame that Thriller catapulted Michael Jackson to. It We've never seen anything like Thriller ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there ever will be another Thriller, and the closest we got when it comes to sales and singles was Katy Perry's Teenage Dream.
So
Fight me. Like,
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it is not Thriller.
that's disgusting.
I'm
so sorry. That's
place your bets. What else could it be?
Okay, well, let's start. Number 10 is Lemonade by Beyonce. Okay.
It's not Gangnam Style.
Dreadnought! Dreadnought, I can't. This just came up on the chat on screen. If you Gangnam Style. Whoop.
Whoop.
Whoop. Whoop. Okay. Lemonade. I am that person that believes that Lemonade should have won Record of the Year. Hands down. Hands down, I think it should have. It was a cultural phenomenon. Socially, it was incredibly influential. It meant a lot to so many people, which is literally why when Adele got the Grammy that year, she was up on that stage being like, this shouldn't be mine. This is Beyonce's, and I agree with her 100%. Do I believe that it is in the top 10 of all time? No. Not the top 10. I think it should be in the top 100. I feelings. Okay. Never mind by Nirvana. Yes. Hello. You belong here. All of that's just iconic. I feel like the diamond certification means you should be on this list, in all honesty. I know sales isn't everything, but it certainly is a big something, in all fairness. What is the highest certification on Lemonade? If you don't mind me asking. If you can check that?
Let me take a peek.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. Certifications.
Soki just said, hopefully it's not just a Timberlake or else Kim is going to punch her screen.
He is not on this list.
He is not on this list. Yay! I could see Future X, Future Censored, potentially being on this list.
Yeah.
Because it was quite
It's an awesome album.
It was quite influential.
I love that album.
Yeah, but not top 10.
Lemonade is 3 times platinum in the US.
And I'm sorry, how many times platinum was Adele in 21?
I think it was 12. I'm bringing it back up. 14.
I rest my case. That album deserves better. Can you pull up the sales figures for Teenage Dream for me? I'm sorry. This is where I'm gonna get busy about this. I don't care. This is so justice for Teenage Dream.
In the United States, it is 9 times platinum.
This is my point. So 3 times platinum to 9 times platinum of Teenage Dream. Adele 21 being what, 14?
Yeah.
You said. The last one I'm going to ask you to check. The Emancipation of Mimi. What are the sales figures on the Emancipation of Mimi? Do you guys get what I'm saying?
7 times platinum in the US.
Thank you. Just saying. Anyway, I approve of Nirvana. Nirvana has a place here at this table always. Back to Black, Amy Winehouse. Yeah, fair. Absolutely fair. I can't believe that didn't get to number 1 on the Billboard 200.
Number 2.
That's wild. But like, yeah, I mean, you really couldn't escape Rehab or Back to Black. And I don't know why you would want to, but like, it was what a moment. What
I
a moment.
I did get sick of Rehab. I just remember
No, no, no.
it was nonstop on the radio, and I just got to the point I was like, I can't handle it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just started yelling at the radio. Then maybe you should just go.
Your daddy's wrong. No, it was no. I'm happy for. It was a very influential
Yes, it
album.
was
100%. Given love on that one for sure. Good Kid, Med City Deluxe version by Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick can do whatever he wants. Oh, this is Swimming Pool's Drank.
Yep.
That has a lot of memories in my head. Sorry. Drank. Yeah. Yeah, Lost Her best rap album was called An Infamous Snub by Rolling Stone's Andre G. I don't know if I put this in the top 10 of all time, but I think Kendrick should have a seat at this table.
Mm-hmm.
Because fantastic. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder can do whatever he wants. I'm not saying nothing. Stevie Wonder. Yep, Certified Diamond. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want.
I will say this is one of those artists that I've always liked, and I've never really done deep dive into. But I was listening to this album while I was putting this together. I Wish is a bop.
All right. We probably should listen to more Stevie Wonder.
Jeez, that song is a bop. The
producer sister.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to grab me a tissue.
Okay.
Because I cannot show this on screen or we will get demonetized. But I just had a pain on the side of my finger, and I scratched at it, and now I am red stuff is coming out of me.
Not good.
Quite a bit. So I'm gonna need something. I'm okay. But I definitely can't get any of that on screen, or we're gonna have a problem. Thanks. Can you just pass me the? It's right there. Thank you. Okay. I'm fine. No, I think Stevie Wonder just is legendary at this point, and he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the bass line in I Wish, iconic.
I love it.
Like, as soon as the song started playing, I knew it. I just didn't know that's what it was, kind of thing. And that's the problem with a lot of stuff from decades past that's from like before we were born, and you know songs but you don't necessarily know what they're called or what album
or who did them. You just know it is that song that's always been that song. It's okay. We're all good, guys. Sorry about that. Live things happen. Alrighty, next one. Blondie by Frank Ocean. Or Blonde by Frank Ocean? I don't know.
This one confused me. It has one single.
I disagree. I mean, Frank Ocean is iconic, but Producer sister, can you look at the sales figures on that one for me? I'm just trying to like remember.
I don't understand this one. So if you do, please let me know.
Yeah.
Educate me.
Katie Artist is like, I am Confucian. We are the vine. Why is this one Kansas and this one is not Arkansas? America, explain. What do you mean it's Arkansas? I have questions.
It is one-time platinum.
Yeah, no.
I don't understand. And I mean, I've never been a big Frank Ocean person or anything, but I couldn't even remember what the song was, like the single. So I put it on while I was working. I still don't know what this song is.
Okay.
And maybe I just missed it.
I am going to do my first poll. What is more iconic?
Justice for Teenage Dream.
I actually wasn't going to do that one. Frank Ocean, Blonde, or The Emancipation of Mimi by Mariah Carey. And I'm sorry if I spelt emancipation wrong. Mariah Carey has a vocabulary I could only dream of having and probably can spell things far better than I can.
I will say too, Kelbear just said can't call it an album when it only has one single. It's a single, not an album. Hold on to that thought because there is another album coming
Okay.
that only has one single, and
Oh.
I absolutely believe it should be here.
Okay. Sandra Baby just said, "Don't know either." I bet you probably do know something from The Emancipation of Mimi by Mariah Carey. If you've heard "It's Like That" or "We Belong Together," "Shake It Off," "Don't Forget About Us," they've been huge on radio play from the day that they dropped to present day. "We Belong Together" is like, to me, one of the most. I feel like if we sent music into space, that song should probably be there. That's my opinion. Let me see here. Ang said a lot of Mariah Carey songs are covers. She's written the majority of her music catalog. In all honesty, she's an incredible songwriter, and she doesn't get enough credit for that. Okay, so we'll keep going.
Oh, also Queen. Yes, where is Queen?
Queen isn't here?
There's no Queen.
There's no Queen?
There's no Queen. Yeah. I have feelings.
Oh, I'm not okay.
No.
I'm not okay. Oh no. Oh no. I'm offended.
Mm-hmm.
I am offended. How is Frank Ocean here and Queen is not? Oh.
Yeah, and this is where I just start going down this road of how are these artists not represented?
That was the moment. We all ride at dawn. I am looking at this chat and we are like, no. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, we got to keep going. This is fighting words. Purple Rain!
There you go.
Yes. This song was this whole album, and then the movie, and everything. All of it was iconic. It was all iconic, and I also love that there's a song on this album that is part of the reason why we have parental advisory stickers now. This was such a break the mold, and start again and do whatever you want and push the boundaries. And I love that. I love that so much in pop. It's just, and in rock in general, it's just amazing. Just so good. And I mean, in particular, like if you don't sing along to When Doves Cry, I have concerns. I have concerns.
Well, I think the flip side of that is like this song or this album is in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Like all of these levels of.
Why is Frank Ocean in the top 10?
Top 5.
Yeah, I have feelings about that. I'm sorry, and no offense to Frank Ocean at all. I just
don't think that album should be this high on the list. I don't know. I would love to hear their reasonings why.
Oh my gosh, Wendy, front row center, concert seats 3 nights at the Worcester Centrum in, is that Massachusetts? You were there? I am so jealous. I am so jealous, but I want to know everything. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And I will say too, one of my favorite things about this shirt when I wear it is there was one time I was on Popcorn and I wore it and we were talking about something and it had something to do with religion. And I can't even remember what it was specifically, but I just weighed in on it because anytime, religion comes up at all, Andy just goes camp and asks me. And I mentioned that I love Jesus, and this one person in the comments was just like, wearing that shirt? Ugh. And I'm like, it's so judgmental. It's so good. It's so good. It's so loosen up, man. Like, chill out. My gosh.
So General Scott said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a psychiatrist, so my waiting room music could be Let's Go Crazy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Wendy said I slept outside of the ticket. I'm trying to get the tickets. Yes.
Worth it.
Yes. Iconic. Sheila E. pulled my brother up on stage for a chair performance. Wow. That would have been a moment. That would have been a moment. But I am happy to see Purple Rain in the top 10. I'm happy to see Nevermind in the top 10.
Yeah.
These are making me happy. Oh, Lulu's mom, let's sing When Doves Cry. I am not going to do the Prince now. Or everybody's going to be screaming at me. Not screaming at each other. They're going to be screaming at Kim to shut up. Okay, we got to keep going. Abbey Road by the Beatles. Fair. Fair. Yes. I agree. I mean, even just that album cover, man.
Yeah.
Just
And but this only had one single.
I mean, technically it had two.
But they're listed as one.
Yeah, but it would have been like that. At the time, though,
Yeah.
singles came out differently.
Exactly.
And I think Come Together on its own. And then also, yeah, album also included Here Comes the Sun.
But that was never a single.
Not officially. Because I think at that time, for singles to be released, you had to release them on, like, cassette.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, would have had to release them on something physically, each one.
Yeah.
And then that was how the single was counted.
And
so it wasn't about the album sales, it was about the individual single sales for the specific song.
Yeah.
Was my understanding. But I think this is fair.
I think when we're talking about lasting power,
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows this album cover. Everybody. It is one of the
when
most...
you're in the vicinity, you have to go and take a
yeah,
picture
you
there.
have to go and recreate it.
It's like a bucket list thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. And one of the other things there in the pages, it charted at number 103 in 2022. It's over 50 years after it was released. That's insane.
That's nuts.
That's power. That's influence.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. What else is on the track listing of that album? You don't mind me asking.
Bring it back up. Abbey Road.
I listened a lot to the number ones Beatles album quite often.
So Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Oh Darling, Octopus's Garden, I Want You, Because You Never Give Me Your Money, Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam.
She came in through the bathroom window. Golden Summers, Carry That Weight, The End, and Her Majesty. Okay, so this was not... Someone had asked, is this Hey Jude?
No.
No. Hey Jude was not on Abbey Road. There we go.
I think, especially with the album cover, it's just so iconic.
Mm-hmm. I'm ending the poll. Thank you to the 92% of you who voted for Mariah Carey. That just shows my faith. And the other ones of you that voted for Frank Ocean, I have questions, and I'm interested to hear why you feel that way, because I don't get it. But yeah. Okay, we'll keep going.
Number 2.
I'm happy it's here.
I told you it wasn't number 1.
I don't like the number. Look at the singles on this.
Yeah.
Look at the Grammy. How many times has this gone platinum? What is it certified?
Oh gosh.
Everything? Is it certified everything?
Well, literally all I had space for on the slide was the singles and the Grammys. The wins, not even the nominations. He had other nominations. He beat himself in some of the categories.
You know you're winning when you beat yourself.
And that's the thing. There's 9 songs on this album. 9. That's it.
There's 9 songs and there were like 7
singles.
Gosh.
The only ones that weren't singles were Baby Be Mine and The Lady Is My Life. Or In My Life, sorry. That's it. Everything else was a single. It's insane. Okay. So, in the United States, it is 34 times platinum. It
How
is
many times?
34.
34.
It has sold over 70 million copies. Just absolute.
That is more than the population of my country.
It's almost double. I'm not sure what we're up to now, but yeah. It's the accolades on this album just don't stop. I don't know what more you could ask from an album.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question. Have we seen Elvis on this list?
No. And you won't.
So Elvis is not here.
Nope.
Frank Ocean's here in the top 10.
Correct.
But Elvis is not here. Okay.
So who is number one? Who do you guys think is what's missing? What influential album is missing?
Carmen, I start off as white and nerdy for the win. I mean, I feel like Weird Al should be here at some capacity.
Okay. I will tell you guys. It is a female artist.
Okay.
It came out in the late 90s.
Okay.
It is not Madonna.
Okay.
She has not been on this list to this point.
It's not Justin Bieber, Soki.
It's not
I
Bieber.
can confirm that it is not because he was on the first slide of the people that got snubbed. Okay, we ready? Let's go. Okay. I will argue this should be in the top 100.
Yes, it should.
Yes, it should. All the respect in the world to Lauryn Hill.
Yep.
But more than Thriller?
Yep. I don't know if I'd put it ahead of Thriller.
What is their reasoning?
And they don't say. It's just a list.
But like, why?
I would love to hear.
I mean, this album is iconic.
Okay, so
absolutely iconic.
On the Wikipedia page for this album,
yes,
the following artists have cited it as an influence on their work.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have her, Rachel Platten, Maren Morris, Dua Lipa, Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, Florence and the Machine, Macy Gray, Rihanna, Adele, Kendrick Lamar, Zendaya, J. Cole, Ariana Grande, Beyonce, Usher. It just keeps going.
But
it has been a massive influence.
I would argue, like, I feel like this should be here before Lemonade type thing.
Yeah, I
feel
agree
like
with that.
This should be here before Frank Ocean.
Yep.
Duh. But when we just even look at it, like, let's just go back, right? Hang on. So we've got, look at the Grammys. Those are the wins.
Yep.
And then we got 4.
Yep.
But we've got 7.
Yep.
We've got 3 singles.
Yep.
We got 7. We got the peaked at number 1, yes. Certified Diamond, and I mean, like, the sales of Thriller as well. But I just mean, like, I feel like when you look at this numbers to numbers, I don't agree. I feel like if you really want to fight for this album because of the way that it's influenced other artists, I see that angle 100%. But I feel like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and Thriller should switch.
Yep, I agree.
I don't agree with this being number 1.
Well, the fact of the matter is, I could sing you every one of those songs from Thriller.
Yeah. Medora Art, David Bowie was on the list.
Yep.
Was on the list. Yeah,
And that is why the internet is all enraged. Because, yeah, a lot of people do not agree with the list and the omissions from the list.
I stand here. I am once again asking you to please give The Emancipation of Mimi and Teenage Dream the respect that those albums deserve. To me, I look at those albums and I go, what did you want from
Yeah.
people?
And well, this is the
What
thing
is
with,
your criteria for things to be extraordinary?
but even with Thriller, what more do you want?
This is weird. This is weird. I get why Twitter's mad. Oh gosh.
I would also ask, where's Bad?
Yeah.
Bad is I Can't Stop Loving You. Bad. The Way You Make Me Feel. Man in the Mirror. Dirty Diana. Another Part of Me. Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, where is Bad?
Where's Bad?
Where's Bad?
So many songs on that album.
I have feelings. I don't like this list.
No.
I don't like it. This upsets me. This upsets me. Okay, so producer sister.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there are other slides after this.
There's one more slide
Okay.
after with just some statistics.
Okay.
And then the source slide.
Okay. There's a lot from the 90s. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Actually, go to the next slide in that wheelhouse.
Mhm.
So it breaks it up. There are 5 artists on here that have 2 albums.
Mhm.
And then the next one there is the number of albums per decade.
Yeah.
Now, I would put an asterisk beside that a little bit because, like, 1989 is considered 2020s because it's the Taylor's version.
But it should be 2010s, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they listed it as
I
Taylor's
get what
version,
that. I get
so
what
it's
you mean. And there were a
2020.
few that were like remastered and stuff like
Yeah,
that too. So that would probably throw it off as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they ranked those in this. I didn't have
Yeah.
time to deep dive it. But yeah. So they only took 3 albums from the 2020s.
I mean, I get that. We're not that far in.
Mhm.
I'm hearing ribbit. Yes. You're no good at this, Froggy. Get angry.
But I feel like 15% of the albums from the 2010s, I feel like it's too soon to know what the lasting impact is for some.
I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. It, and this is the thing, as much as I do really like Beyonce's self-titled album, I don't feel like it was more influential
Mhm.
than Lemonade. And again, I feel like, oh, that's another one, Melissa. Where's
Green
American
Day,
Idiot?
American Idiot. Yeah.
Where's American Idiot?
That album was massive. It has a Broadway show.
That is some disrespect. I didn't think
Yeah.
that much. Yeah.
And that's the thing, you start talking.
And you're like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, so no, I want respect for Teenage Dream, I want respect for The Emancipation of Mimi, and I want respect for American Idiot.
And Queen.
And Queen.
Like, there's so many.
It's so rude. It's so rude, and I know not everybody can get there, but like... Ugh. Ugh.
I find it interesting too, 21 albums under the hip hop and rap category.
I feel like there might have been a little bit of a bias.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of these lists, it's so subjective. It's so based on your own personal taste. And the other thing is your taste can be influenced by your experiences, right?
Mhm.
Because I think part of what is so special about music is that these people and these songs become intertwined with our memories.
Yeah.
Right? Like, um, it sounds really stupid, but it's like, I always think of, like, for me, when people came into the church when I got married, they came in to a piano version of He'll Make Me Happy from Muppets Take Manhattan in their show Manhattan Melodies.
True story.
That is a song for me that is massive because I love the Muppets. It's such a great memory of my life, and then I was able to cement it into an even bigger memory of my life by involving it in that moment. It's a huge song for me, but that doesn't mean that it's a huge song for everybody else. It doesn't mean that it's super memorable for everybody else. And then you get people in a room that have all these opinions, and that's part of why sometimes I do default to sales, because the sales are people were willing to put their money where their mouth was, and they wanted this. They wanted it. They wanted it enough to pay for it and to keep it because they wanted it forever.
Yeah.
It's more than radio play. It's more than, it was convenient or it was in an advertisement. It's people wanted it. And that's why, like, the sales for me is important. I think it does stand for something at that point.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like decades later. Because it's iconic.
Well, it's like the Beatles
Yeah.
charting 50 years later.
That is iconic.
There's very few artists who can do that. That's crazy. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, guys, I have two things I've got to say quite quickly. The first, I'm just going to go back to the main screen now because I think we're through everything. Thank you guys so much. I did show the sources quickly, and I will add those to the source doc now that the presentation has been made, and you guys are welcome to check those things out if you really want to. The first
it's mostly Wikipedia.
Mostly Wikipedia.
And pictures.
I just received a message from one of the programs I use to help me with my YouTube analytics, and they have informed me that our channel has officially surpassed 550,000 views.
Yay!
So thank you very much, everybody, for that. That's amazing. Thank you for being a part of that journey with me. I so appreciate it. I hope to have many more. Many more, but I just got that notification. I wanted to share that with you guys, so thank you very much. And the second is we have received a notification that rain is going to be coming soon. So I am going to wind down this stream because I have a little girl that needs to go outside and, do her business and things like that and make sure we got stuff ready for whatever is coming in and go run around and take stuff out of the backyard or whatever.
Yeah.
So
because we are supposed to get hail, so we don't want to send
I was reading that in some areas it's going to be like the size of a toonie.
Yeah.
Like, and for those of you that don't know, toonie is like our $2 coin. It's like yay big.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big. So we got to go get all that stuff done.
Probably close to a ping pong ball.
Yeah, it's a small ping pong ball, but yeah, like it's substantial. So I did want to say, guys, thank you so much all for being here. Oh, Katie, thank you for the $5 super chat. That's so kind of you. This is our last call, so if you want to send any other support, if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, now is the time. I can give you guys like 5 more minutes or so, and then we'll have to wind this down and go from there. So thank you very much, you guys. Thank you to everybody who has subbed. Please remember to do so if you have not. Please like this stream if you have not. And I would appreciate it if you could leave a comment when the stream is done, because that tells YouTube that there's interaction with this as a standalone video as well as a live stream, and that really helps me out as a creator. And it's a really fast and free way to help me out a lot. So I would very much appreciate that.
Let us know what you think the #1 album should have been.
Leave that in the comments when this ends. Like, just reload the page, go down to the comment section, and tell me what album should be here and, like, what your favorite album is, for example. You know what I mean?
Or you could do both. What album do you think should be overall #1? And what is your #1 album?
100%. General Scott, thank you so much for the super sticker. Next time to you as well. Witness, is it Whitnars? Whitnars? I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry if I did not. I'm saying you two deserve it. Well done, ladies. Much love. And you've been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. You are halfway to your 1th. Thank you very much for the support. I very much appreciate it. Um, yeah, and I think the next planned stream is gonna be next Monday, but with the way everything's going right now, I mean, I'll let you guys know if anything changes because Diddy be
Diddying.
diddying. And the way that I'm reading that like report about Netflix, they're going like sooner rather than later. Basically, I kind of go, is it premiering Friday? Like what?
At this point, I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know.
Because they'll just add more episodes as
Yeah,
stuff happens.
exactly.
It's the beauty of a streaming service. You just keep going.
It just won't stop. It won't stop.
And you want to capitalize, well, you'll get the views.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I am going to go ahead and run the outro. Thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to all of you. And I will see you all very soon. Please make sure you are subbed. If I have updates, they'll come through the community tab as well. And also, you can follow me on Instagram. I tend to leave stories there if there's anything upcoming or changing or anything like that. So I will talk to you guys later. Much love. Thank you all so much for the support today. And I will talk to you all soon.